Now at 10, if you haven't finished your Christmas shopping, you've only got a few days left, but you could be in luck. Tonight, why procrastinators might still get the best deals of this holiday season. And the season of giving takes on a whole new meaning for a group of Georgia drivers. Plus, it was a packed house for the first event, so Marietta officials added another one. And today, the community gathered to learn what to do in the event of an active shooter situation. But first up tonight, 10 families displaced at this hour after a fire rips through a DeKalb County apartment complex. It happened at the Dunwoody Village Apartments off of North Peachtree Road. 11 Live's Ryan Kruger spoke to firefighters and residents, and he joins us now live with the details. Ryan, do we know what sparked the blaze?
Tonight, Keith, we do not. That is still under investigation. Now, we did see fire investigators going through the units looking for a cause. We're going to zoom in on one of the units that was destroyed tonight. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Everyone was able to get out okay. But these big flames did cause some scary moments for the people who lived here. In this cell phone video taken by neighbor Abhishek Gupta, you can see the flames bursting through the roof of the apartment complex. Gupta, who lives across the parking lot, was fearful the fire might spread to his unit.
It was all burning in the flames, and people were just coming, that firefighters were coming and trying to control that, so it was very scary.
DeKalb County firefighters arrived just minutes later, but by then...
But unfortunately, the fire has already spread beyond our capabilities, so we set up our aerial units and was able to knock the fire down from the aerial units, and then we went interior.
Thankfully, they were able to get the fire under control, but not before it destroyed 10 units. Everyone was able to get out safely, though one man was treated on scene for minor smoke inhalation.
There was a lot of fire when we got here, so it's fortunate that most of the people were able to get out before we got here.
Gupta tells me he sees several families with young kids living in the apartment complex. Many of them are looking for a new place to stay.
But I just talked to one family. They were here, they were crying, so I asked them they can just live here for now if they want.
Now, I know a lot of those families are staying with relatives tonight. We don't have an exact count on the number of people who were displaced, but neighbors here are telling me that there are a lot of young families with young children who live in this complex. Keith, back to you in the studio.
Tough break before Christmas. Ryan, thank you. A surprising and heartbreaking announcement today from former President Jimmy Carter. Just 2 weeks after he told the church that he goes to that he was free of cancer, he stunned the congregation today with the news that his 28-year-old grandson had died unexpectedly. 28-year-old Jeremy is the son of Jimmy Carter's youngest son, Jeff. He's pictured here on the left in a photo from 2005. The former president arrived late today to his weekly Sunday school at Maranatha Baptist Church, the first time he'd ever been late. He told the congregation that Jeremy was at his parents' house in Peachtree City when he complained to his mother that he did not feel well.
When he got ready to eat supper, he told his mother he thought he'd go lie down a while. So he went to his room and lay on the bed, and she went to see if he was okay, and his heart quit beating.
His grandson was rushed to the hospital where doctors performed CPR, but they were unsuccessful. Despite that tragedy, Mr. Carter encouraged the congregation to be filled with a sense of joy for Christmas. Some new details tonight about a small plane crash in Barrow County. It happened on the golf course at the Georgia Club. Now, the Beechcraft BE-24 went down near the third hole there. Witnesses say the plane's engine was not in full throttle at the time as it came in low and clipped some trees. Pilot apparently trying to land the craft. Nobody on the ground was injured, but despite efforts to rescue him, the pilot was killed. The NTSB is investigating the cause. The name of the pilot has not yet been released tonight. Also tonight, Atlanta civil rights community is mourning the death of one of its pioneers, Ozell Sutton. Sutton marched with King and was among those at the Lorraine Motel when MLK was assassinated. He recently was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal as one of the first African Americans to serve in the United States Marine Corps. He died yesterday at the age of 90. Well, in other news now, the crowd was so big for the first one, Marietta police had to hold another active shooter training seminar. This was the scene earlier at Marietta Middle School. Members of the community learning what to do in the event of a situation like we saw in Paris and San Bernardino. Officials say it is important that people know exactly how to survive an active shooter situation.
Is what they do truly matters in an active shooter event, because doing nothing at all is not an option.
The last event 2 weeks ago was packed with more than 800 people. Now, if you were unable to attend either one of the events, the Marietta Police Department has a lot of information that they taught at the event on their website, and we've made it easy for you to get to. All you got to do is go to 11live.com. Well, at last night's Democratic debate, Hillary Clinton said Republican Donald Trump is becoming the best recruiter ISIS has because of his comments about Muslims. That was just one of the hot button topics from that event. Meanwhile, on the Republican side of things, Senator Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz are engaged in a full-out war of words. Edward Lawrence has more from D.C. tonight.
Hey guys.
The cold weather settling in over New Hampshire didn't stop one Republican candidate from heating up the rhetoric, even over a beer, attacking frontrunner Hillary Clinton for this moment in the Democratic debate.
I wish we could say, yes, let's go destroy ISIS and let's let Assad continue to destroy Syria, which creates more terrorists, more extremists by the minute. No, we now finally are where we need to be.
The fact that the former Secretary of State and the architect of the Obama foreign policy says we're where we need to be on ISIS tells you everything you need to know about why it's a failed foreign policy and why she cannot be promoted.
On Meet the Press, even Senator Bernie Sanders says the Middle East would have been better off if the U.S. left some dictators in power.
The simple answer to your question is, I think, yes, the region would be much more stable.
Donald Trump went further, calling Clinton a liar for claiming ISIS uses Trump's comments as a recruiting tool. He also blames the current Middle East problems on Secretary Clinton.
She wasted a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of money, and frankly, she wasted a lot of lives because her policies were a disaster for the world.
The Republicans are all trying to show voters it's time for a change from the Democrats. Momentum is critical to the campaign. Now, things will slow down this week with Christmas and then New Year's. But after, each campaign wants to be able to show an upward trend, gaining support as the nomination nears. Edward Lawrence, NBC News, Washington.
Well, some new developments tonight in a bomb scare on board an Air France flight. That flight started in Paris and was headed to the island of Mauritius. The item was hidden in a cabinet behind a mirror in the bathroom. Turns out it was a fake explosive, contained nothing more than cardboard, sheets of paper, and a household timer. The Air France flight made an emergency landing in Kenya, sent hundreds of passengers scrambling down the emergency slides. According to the airline CEO, it is the fourth bomb hoax against that airline in recent weeks. Closer to home tonight in Gwinnett County, police still looking for 67-year-old Trevor Greer. Take a look, the subject of a Maddie's call who's been missing since Thursday. He was last seen walking on Bethany Church Road. If you've seen Mr. Greer, you're asked to call Gwinnett County Police at the number on your screen, 770-513-5100. Well, in other news now, the war on medical marijuana is over. Well, at least that's the belief of some folks following a decision Friday by the federal government to ease its stance on the drug. But the fight continues strong here in Georgia. Patients can possess medical marijuana, but they can't buy it here. And that's despite overwhelming support from voters. For the first time, State Representative Alan Peake, who spearheaded the medical cannabis effort, is speaking out about what he believed caused the disconnect between voters and lawmakers. 11 Live's Chris Hopper has the story.
The push to legalize and expand medical marijuana here in Georgia has seen its share of ups and downs.
It is because our hands are tied right now by the federal government.
And Macon Representative Alan Peake has been on the front lines of it all.
We've faced a lot of challenges in this effort over the last 2 years.
Peake was instrumental in getting a bill passed that allows certain patients in Georgia to possess and use cannabis oil, but it remains illegal to grow and produce.
And I think there's a concern that it can't be controlled. And I think those are false fears.
Those fears on full display at the last Georgia Commission on Medical Cannabis hearing when the group voted not to make a cultivation recommendation to Governor Nathan Deal.
Cultivation of marijuana is against federal law, and as a law enforcement officer, I'm not going to support anything that is contrary to federal law. Not contrary, just violates federal law.
GBI and Georgia Sheriff's Association officials accompanied Peake on a fact-finding mission to Colorado in November.
When they heard the horror stories.
Colorado, a place where medical and recreational marijuana is legal, versus Minnesota, a place Peake visited recently, one with a very strict, controlled medical marijuana law.
If I made one tactical error, I'll take the blame for it, is that we went to Colorado first rather than going to a Minnesota.
But what's done is done, and the task ahead this legislative session is a tall one.
It's going to be a miracle to pull it off, but for the sake of hurting citizens in Georgia, I am hopeful we can get there.
A miracle not unlike the one they pulled off in 2015. The new fight begins January 11th, day one of the 2016 legislative session. Chris Hopper, 11 Alive News.
And it was under that big federal spending bill passed on Friday that retail operations in states where medical marijuana is legal no longer have to worry about federal drug raids. We're less than 5 days now away from Christmas, and if you haven't completed your shopping, time's running out. But those who waited till the last minute might be the ones getting some big breaks. Details in a minute. Stay with us.
And Keith, it's nice to see a clear radar picture, at least for now. We do think the radar is going to be filling up and looking very active in this upcoming week. And our forecast for tomorrow just shows the cloud cover on the rise and the rain will eventually move in. I'll time it out for you coming up.
Welcome back, everybody. It was an early Christmas for some drivers in Monroe County. Check this out. They thought they were getting a traffic ticket, but instead they got a $100 bill, and they were ordered to spend it on their loved ones this holiday season. An anonymous donor gave the department a $5,000 check, so the chief there decided to split it up and spread the cheer to the folks that they protect and serve.
You would most likely get a ticket, okay? But today we're out giving something different than tickets. We want to give a donation based on the sheriff's office and myself and the Secret Santa that we had, okay?
Oh my God.
Allowed us to spread a little joy through the community. So we'd like to give you a donation towards your family to help with whatever you need to do through the holiday right now, okay? You sure can.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a great story. Way to go, folks out there in Monroe County. Officers gave out more than 50 checks throughout the week. Well, there are just 5 more shopping days until Christmas, which means it's time for all you procrastinators to get out there. You've got the malls pretty much to yourselves, sometimes at least from here on out, but you might want to arm yourself with a few tips before you go. NBC's Ron Mott went to a shopping mall in New York to get a glimpse of what's left for the last-minute shopper.
With Super Saturday in the rear view, the drive is on to get last-minute shoppers into stores. An estimated 17% of Americans, nearly 1 in 5, hadn't even started to check off their lists a week before Christmas. But don't fret, there's plenty of time left if you get going now, like these folks at New York's Herald Square this weekend.
It's hectic, definitely hectic. Lines are long, but the selection, there's a lot of selections.
It's awesome. I love shopping.
You know, typical New York crowd. Didn't expect anything less than this.
Why wait so late? Good deals. That's why as much as 40% of the season's sales come 10 days before Christmas. Retailers extending store hours, offering free shipping, and slashing prices on less popular items.
Most of the deepest discounts right now can be found in apparel, all kinds of apparel actually, and not just those winter coats and scarves and hats. Some electronics, of course, and even some home goods.
Here are a few tips to relieve your crunch time shopping stress. Order online and pick up at the store. You'll save time standing in lines. Take advantage of free gift wrapping. Let the pros handle that. Be on the lookout for stackable coupons, allowing multiple discounts on a single purchase. And if feeling overwhelmed, stop and pamper yourself with a relaxing massage, because shopping won't feel good unless you do.
Just be patient and enjoy being here in New York City and shopping, you know. Be kind. Mind your manners.
Whatever your mood or strategy or whatever ends up in your bags, remember, it's really the thought that counts.
I have to look into that spa massage thing. And no need to go to New York to look for those deals. 11 Live has you covered this Christmas season. All you got to do is go to 11live.com, check out our holiday guide there, and you'll find gifts for any budget, plus unique stocking stuffers for the person who may be hard to shop for. And if you're one of the last-minute shoppers, be prepared because rain is headed your way this week. So I guess you better take that umbrella to the mall, right, Kelly?
Oh, you're going to need several umbrellas. If you lose one, you'll have a backup. We're going to need all the wet gear because we've got rain in the forecast. It's going to be heavy at times. Thunderstorms are also a possibility. So enjoy the dry weather while you have it. You can see the traffic moving right along. It's nice to have the dry pavement on this Sunday before Christmas. Of course, a lot of people are going to be traveling through Atlanta. Just checked on the airport situation. situation. We're not seeing too many weather-related delays out there, so that's certainly some good news. Temperatures are really not that bad either, because we do have some clouds out there acting as a blanket, so it's not going to get as cold as what we saw the last couple of nights. In fact, yesterday morning got down to 27. This morning we got down to just above the freezing mark, so temperatures tonight will bottom out at about 43 degrees. So here's what it's looking like on the Wizometer for our Monday. Some of you still have work. You're not quite taking that vacation yet. So it looks like we'll have a lot of cloud cover out there. Wizometer number of a 7 after a morning start of 43 degrees will rise to about 57 degrees, and that's actually above average for this time of year. And in fact, those temperatures are going to continue to climb for the rest of the week. We're going to be back into the 70s, as a matter of fact, just in time for the Christmas holiday. Radar is showing clear skies down 75 through 285. Also, I-20, a good ride right now from Georgia all the way back to Texas right now. We're just spotting a few showers out there, but the clouds are moving in and they're going to be with us through tomorrow morning. You'll see they'll have some spotty drizzle out there in the Carolinas due to that dreaded east wind. So we're tapping some of that moisture from the Atlantic, and then we look to the west for the scattered showers to move our way into the northwest corner of Georgia. Atlanta still dry even by 5 o'clock Monday afternoon, although you will notice the darker green colors indicating some of that moderate rainfall moving through some of the northern suburbs. And then watch out, 11 o'clock tomorrow night, here comes the heavy stuff moving through Alabama. If you are traveling westbound, definitely watch out for that wall of rain, and that rain will continue to be heavy through Tuesday morning over towards Athens and eventually through the Carolinas as well. And again, we can't rule out the possibility of a clap of thunder with that. And then look at that, the clouds don't want to break up. If anything, they stay with us the rest of the week. So we're going to look beyond Tuesday. I just timed out the rain for you Tuesday, and look what happens as we go through Tuesday night. Still raining pretty hard in the Carolinas, and look what comes back at us from the southwest. The rain, it fills in once again across Atlanta, and quite the line moving across the area too. So again, we're going to have to watch out for some thunder, lightning, and heavy downpours, and that could cause some ponding on the roadways. So keep that in mind for your travel plans. All right, showers and thunderstorms, that is really the theme of this holiday week, and you can see we even have some warm temperatures. If we get to 73 on Christmas Eve day, that will be a new record for Atlanta. 73 degrees on Friday. And still looking pretty unsettled for the weekend after Christmas as everybody floods to the malls and gets what they really want. Keith.
That's right, Kelly. All right, thanks a lot. Coming up, it's a feeling the Falcons haven't felt in almost 2 months now. Find out how they get back on the winning side. Up next in sports, stay with us.
And just going out there and practicing what I preach and what this team is all about, finishing an effort, and it felt good, man.
Yeah, it's the Dan Quinn mantra, finish. The Falcons found a way to finish off the Jaguars after a 6-game drought. Yeah, it has to feel good to be back in that win column no matter how you get there. Not a pretty one, but some improvements. The Falcons find some momentum early against the Jacksonville Jags. Devontae Freeman takes the pitch 5 yards on the opening drive, but then the offense goes cold until late in the second quarter. Matt Ryan finds his guy, Julio Jones. Julio sets the franchise record for catches in a season with 118. Falcons up 14-3, but the Jags threatening from the 1-yard line. Blake Bortles picked off by Kamal Ishmael, who stepped in the starting job for William Moore. Ishmael just might go all the way, but Bortles not giving up. It's an 84-yard return. Falcons lead 17-3 at the half, but in the third, Bortles and the Jags are back in the red zone. This time, Bortles takes in the 1-yard keeper, and later the Jags keeping things close. Bortles hits Allen Robinson to tie up the game. Now, the Falcons have struggled all season on third down, but they converted 50%, 3rd and 7 to Roddy White. And then Shane Graham would nail the 33-yard field goal for the lead. Falcons are now at an even 500 on the season. Hey, how about that? 23-17, the final. Coach Quinn likes the effort.
Anytime you go through that struggle, you want to make sure, okay, are the lessons being learned, are the things to do that we're doing right get rewarded in terms of the effort, the mindset, the practice. We knew it was going to be a tough one, and absolutely coming away here, leaving here with the win, that was the factor.
The Falcons will now try to finish against the undefeated Panthers next week. It's not easy to stay perfect in the NFL. Just ask the 72 Dolphins and the Carolina Panthers. Cam just keeps on adding to that MVP campaign. 5 touchdown passes today for 340 yards, no interceptions. But the Giants make a fourth quarter surge. Eli Manning finds who else OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. He had a cheap shot on Josh Norman earlier, but he hauls in the 14-yard pass to tie the game at 35. No pressure on Graham Gano. He nails the 43-yard field goal. Panthers survived this one 38-35. Bowl prep continued today in Athens for the Georgia Bulldogs. The Dogs are still adapting to all those changes to the coaching staff. And whether you agree or disagree with all the adjustments, Georgia players have a bigger goal in mind: getting win number 40 for their senior class. No matter who's in charge or calling the shots at the TaxSlayer Bowl, players say they didn't need much motivation to show up in Jacksonville.
We really didn't even need the amount to ask, because, I mean, it's just a thing like, you got to do. I mean, seniors know we have to step up. We have to keep guys together, keep guys committed to the G, and really just finish strong for everybody who put in all the sacrifices in the offseason, during winter workouts, and just finish strong for them.
All right, in the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks are looking for some consistency. Can they string together a couple of wins? It helps when Kyle Korver is shooting like this. Korver coming alive in the fourth, 6 of 8 from three-point range. Hawks on an 8-0 run. Under a minute to go, game tied at 100. Jeff T kicks it out to Korver. He's clutch, drains the three from the corner. Korver put up 13 of his 19 in the fourth quarter. Hawks win 3 straight, 103-100. That's a look at sports. We'll be back after the break.
Welcome back. Just talking about the fact I think Steve Harvey just broke Twitter.
Oh, I know. Not in a good way.
After announcing the wrong winner in Miss, what was it, Universe or
Miss
World?
Universe,
Miss Universe,
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Philippines won, even though he gave it to Colombia by mistake.
Right,
so
and then he said it was Miss Philippians.
Whoops.
So,
All right, so let's move on. Hopefully not going to get too many people angry at me because of the forecast, but we do have rain and thunderstorms on the way. Warm temperatures, though.
Nice. All right, thanks, Kelly and Kim, and thank you for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow, everybody.